Hello and welcome to SiteBildZ Advantage. We want to take just a little bit in this video to give you a quick overview of some of the amazing and powerful features that come along with this new release of SiteBildZ. Now, SiteBildZ Advantage is scheduled for public launch in July, so it's very similar to SiteBildZ. You'll probably recognize a lot of the features here, but we've rearranged a few things, added some very powerful features to help make your job as an affiliate marketer or website builder much easier. So let's go through just the dashboard layout here first. You'll notice that we have these main tabs here on the dashboard. We have General Settings, SiteBildZ Wizard, Training, Education, and so on. And these all take us to the main functions throughout SiteBildZ Advantage. Over here on the right-hand side, we also have this scrolling list of updates. So if you're looking for up-to-date information about SiteBildZ or some new information that would be beneficial for you, be sure to check out this updates section over here. We also have the quick links section down below that, so you can access Amazon, ClickBank, AdSense, and other important information here. And then we also have the SiteBildZ forum down here at the bottom, so if you want to check out questions or interact with other users, get some tips, be sure to check out that SiteBildZ forum here too. So let's go ahead and dive in. We'll start with the General Settings tab up here on the left-hand corner. And this is where you're going to enter in all your basic general settings. And you only need to do this once, so the first time that you do it, it will probably take a little bit to get everything up and running. But here, for example, we're in the monetization section. And in this section, I'm going to enter in my Amazon credentials, my ClickBank credentials, Share a Sale, and AdSense credentials here. And then once I save those into my account, then they're going to be available for my use later on for the entire time that I'm using SiteBildZ. Now, one of the main goals of SiteBildZ is to help you monetize in as many different ways as possible, so that's why we have several different options here, and once you enter in your information, there's a lot of opportunities for you to capitalize on without ever having to leave the SiteBildZ interface. Moving on to the Domain Registrars tab, we're integrated with Namecheap and Enom, and once you set up your account with either of those, or both of those if you like, and integrate that with SiteBildZ, you can start registering domains and building sites without ever having to leave the SiteBildZ interface. Moving on to the autoresponder section, we're also set up with Aweber and GetResponse, so we have those set up if you're ready to go, and you can enter in your information here, so again, you don't have to leave SiteBildZ to work with these. In the miscellaneous accounts section, you can add your article builder accounts, your iWriter accounts, as well as Google Analytics. And then in Google+, you can enter in your Google+ information here as well to help you promote later on. And we'll talk about promoting and getting some of that information out there after just a little bit. Going back to the main dashboard, the next option we have is the SiteBildZ Wizard. Now, this is going to be extremely useful for new users of SiteBildZ Advantage because when you choose this option, you actually have the ability to walk through the entire process of creating a website, setting up monetization options, applying a theme, really doing everything involved. And the wizard will just walk you through that, teach you how to use the software, and make sure that you have everything that's necessary integrated. And by the time you're done, you'll have a site that's up and running. You won't even have to know exactly what you're doing. You can just get in there as a new user and start using that immediately and let the wizard walk you through it. Next, we have the 360 training section. And here you'll be able to see all our video tutorials that will walk you through the process of using SiteBildZ Advantage. Right now we still have the current video tutorials in here, but that's because we're in the process of making ones for the new system, so we'll update those just as soon as we have those complete for you guys. We also have the marketing training here. You can access our downloadable books, learn more about SEO and how to optimize your process there. And then in the new download section, there's also some additional marketing material here for you guys. Let's move on to research. So I'll go back to the dashboard, and then I'll choose the research button. And here we can start doing our research. So the first thing to really do is look for a keyword, look for a topic that you want to research and potentially build a site and project around. Now, I want to point out before we get started there that you'll notice this SEM rush here, as well as the Moz data integration. And we want to let you know that these things are automatically included with your fee. We wanted to find the best, most trusted tools we could and get some of the best data sets that we could possibly bring in to use within SiteBildZ. So these are included already with your monthly membership fee, and you get access to these awesome tools with no additional hangups or anything like that. So I'll go ahead and I'll start typing in a keyword that I think might be a good result or something to build a project around. And as I start typing, you'll notice that the keyword field is pre-populated with some suggestions for other popular searches or keywords. So I'll finish entering that in and then hit enter. And you'll notice now I get this great overview here for this keyword. I can see a summary, see the EPC, CPC, competition, kind of see the trend charts here for that keyword, see some phrase matches, some related keywords here. And as I scroll down, I can see some organic results for this particular keyword when it's searched. You'll also notice up here that I can select where I would like to search for. If I'd like to search a specific database like US Google or UK Google or France or others like that up here as well. Moving on to the niche keyword tab, you can see that I still have that keyword I just searched for, and then I have all this information here, which is really handy when searching through a niche keyword. We've got this handy color coding system over here. Green means that that's a keyword phrase that would probably be worthwhile. You'll see that the ones that pop up immediately are all red and yellow, which means that they're probably not the best choice for keyword, either because of high competition or a low click rate search result, something like that. So the wizard will explain what all of these different things mean and how to interpret all of this different data. But over here quickly, you can see there's this trend section, and you can kind of view the trend for searches for these particular keywords here. And then we have a few different options too. Over here, we can choose to find a domain, and this will show me what's available. Now, this particular keyword that I just looked for was Photoshop free, and you'll see that the .com and .org are already taken, but there's a few other endings over here like .net, .info that are available, and also some other domain names here that would also be available. If I'd like to go ahead and purchase a domain through this, I can just click on that domain, and then I can choose whether or not to use Namecheap or Enom and my credentials that I've already entered there and purchase that domain through SiteBildZ. So I'll just choose Namecheap. And here you'll see the terms and conditions. Basically what this is saying is that you can use the funds manager, which is another section of SiteBildZ Advantage, which comes in very handy. You can put in funds into SiteBildZ and then purchase things like domains or content, stock photos, that kind of stuff right in SiteBildZ without ever having to leave and go to an external site. So basically this is just saying that we're going to own this domain after I purchase it through my Namecheap credentials that are already plugged into SiteBildZ. So I'll say I've read and agree, and then I'll proceed. And here you can see all of my information. I can enter all of that stuff in here, and then it will show me the domain name down here once again. So be sure when you're going through this, actually enter in your information so that you can have all of that associated with the domain that you buy. You can also enter in a promo coupon if you have one of those to use, and then click submit. So I actually went back and entered in my information and then resubmitted that so that I could actually get the domain. So you'll see I just purchased photoshopinstitute.com, and then I can click to go to my domain. And the reason that I can do this already is because I'm already working within a sample project that I created. If you haven't already started working, haven't selected a project to work in, once you purchase a domain, the system will prompt you to select or create a project to work within. So just do that, and then you can actually go to the domain. Okay, so now you can see that the domain I just purchased is available here within My Domains. I have some different actions I can perform right here within the My Domain section, but I'm going to go ahead and use the website builder to start building my site. So again, you can always access that just by going to the dashboard and then selecting Website Builder. Now, the first thing that I want to do is go ahead and apply a theme. Now you'll see here that these are the domains that I have. These are the ones that I've purchased using SiteBildZ, and I could also import other domains from outside sources, domains that I've already purchased perhaps, and bring them into the SiteBildZ interface to modify those as well. For now, I'll go ahead and get started applying a theme. So I'll just go over here and click this button. And you'll notice now I have a couple different options. And what these mean is that the cPanel only, if I'd like to create a site and basically create my own HTML website, I could just set up a cPanel only within SiteBildZ and then customize that using HTML or another interface with that cPanel. I could use the WordPress with cPanel option, and basically that would allow me to set up a WordPress site and customize that within the WordPress admin instead of using SiteBildZ. But in my case, I want to keep things simple and I want to use the powerful tools that are available here and just stay within the SiteBildZ interface. So I'm going to select Theme with WordPress, which is going to create a site and allow me to edit and modify that all within SiteBildZ. So I'll select that and click Submit. And now I'm just going to create a multifunctional WordPress site. Now, there's some WordPress options that can also be integrated well with e-commerce, and we'll talk about those specifically in a little bit. But first, I'm just going to create a generic multifunction site. So I'll choose one of these that I like. I'll select this one here for now, and then I'll click Apply. It's going to ask me if I want to apply the selected theme, so I'll say yes. And then I'm going to select the server that I want to use. We have several different servers that you can choose from, so I'm just going to select one and then click Submit. Now you'll notice here we have the NS information here, and if you purchase the domain from within SiteBildZ, this is already integrated. You don't have to mess with this, but if you're working on an outside domain, you can go ahead and integrate this with the domain that you purchased outside of SiteBildZ, and that way you can apply the SiteBildZ build and theme to your outside purchase site. So I'll go ahead and click Submit. And now we have this countdown, and you can see that SiteBildZ is applying the theme to my website. So it's building the site, it's getting all the credentials and the backend set up, and here in just a moment I'll have the login information, and that login information will also be emailed to you. Now you'll see I've got all my login information here, which will also be emailed to me so I don't lose track of it. And if I wanted to, I could go check out my domain, but I know that it's going to take just a little bit for the site to be propagated and have all that information appear there. Please note that it can take up to 24 hours for that process to happen. So I'm just going to start modifying some of the other areas of my site. So the first thing I'll do is go up to the monetization section. I'm still within the website builder. And here I can start monetizing my site. I can pull in things from Amazon, ClickBank, Share a Sale, and a couple others here too to really add different options to bring in income through my website. I can actually search for products. So if I want to search for something like a digital camera, I can do that, and I can choose whether to search on Amazon or ClickBank or Share a Sale. And I can also specify the country. Now, please note, it's important that you make different accounts for different countries specific to places like Amazon. You need to have different associate accounts for multiple countries, because if you set up an associate account just with the US or Canada, for example, but then someone from the UK or Australia clicks on a link to an Amazon product on your site, it's going to redirect them to Amazon UK or Amazon Australia, and you won't get paid for that referral. So you want to make sure that you have different accounts set up for different countries, and we call this geo-targeting, and it's really important. It allows you to get income from all over the world and make sure that you get paid for those referrals even if they're from different countries. I can choose a different category here, a specific category to search for this keyword if I want. So I could choose electronics, for example. I could look for a bestseller item, set some pricing, some specifications there, and then I'll just click Find Products. And here you can see there's several different products that pop up from Amazon right within the SiteBildZ interface. So right from within the interface here, I've even got a couple options over here. I can look at reviews, I can get additional information about the product, and I can even add this product to my selected products up here to post to my site. And once I'm ready, I've got all the products that I want to post from ClickBank and Share a Sale, Amazon. I've got those products here. I can just click this button here, and that will post those items to my site. So I can go ahead and click Post Product to Website, and that will post within the website that I choose there. So that's how easy it is to get started with the monetization options and add some products to your site. Next, let's check out the SEO settings. Here we've got several different settings we can change for on-site SEO to help make sure that your site gets found. We've also got some great off-site SEO options, and you can check those out. We've got a couple different things that we can help you out with to really create some great off-site SEO. Next, we'll check out opt-in templates. And these allow you to post great looking templates to your site without having to do any of the hard work behind it. You can have people opt in and just add those to any site that you create. Next is the display ad builder. Now this is a really powerful function, and what I'll do is within the display ad builder, I'll just click create ads, and I'll say yes, I want to create an ad for a website. I'll choose the site and then say submit. And here you'll notice we've got several different examples to choose from. This is all template based and it's very powerful. We've got lots of different ad sizes we can select from. We've got all sorts of different options here to really fit any layout that you're going for on your site. And all of this stuff is completely customizable, but we give you great starting points. You notice you don't have to create stuff from the ground up. You can start with some great looking advertisements and then just customize those to your heart's content. So I'll go ahead and I'll just choose one and say okay. And here I can start editing this ad. So I can just click on any specific element within this advertisement, move things around here, drag and drop, change images. I can customize fonts. There's really a whole lot of options here, and you don't have to be a designer to make great ads. You can start with what we've got and then just swap out very specific sections to make a fully custom advertisement or several advertisements for your site in minutes, regardless of how much experience you have with doing something like this. And when you're finished, just click submit. We also have several different headers that you can apply to your site. We have several great looking headers, and you can just click the apply button to apply them to your site as is, but you can also choose to edit these headers within the HD image editor, which we'll talk about just a bit more in a little while. Next, we'll go to the website custom settings, and I can choose the site that I want to edit the settings for. And here we can do some general website customization settings. So we can do things like the theme and some different front page settings, change the logo, icon, all that different kind of stuff. The nice thing about the SiteBildZ interface is basically that anything you can do within the WordPress admin can be done within SiteBildZ. So you can customize things that you'd normally have to go into the WordPress administrative side for without ever leaving SiteBildZ. And it's a really easy interface to use. And it's really time saving when you don't have to jump all over trying to customize things in different areas. And lastly, you can view the website page post tab here and view your different site pages, edit specific pages on your site from within this interface very quickly and easily. Let's go back to the dashboard. And let's quickly take a look at the remaining areas we have here. The e-commerce builder, which we won't go into depth at this point on, is very similar to the website builder, but it's specific for e-commerce sites. And it's built around WooCommerce, integrates really easily if you're already using WooCommerce. And again, it's very similar to the website builder, so you can just use that in a very similar sense to what we just went through. We have the website promotion. This allows you to post and promote your site using social media. So you can enter in your information for Facebook and Twitter, LinkedIn, other social media sites, and post and promote your site without ever having to leave the SiteBildZ interface. Going back to the dashboard, we also have the social monitoring section here. Now, this is a really powerful function within SiteBildZ. You can actually monitor your domain or keywords, specific things that are relevant to your business, and see conversations and contribute to conversations on social media. So if I want to search for one of my keywords, I could just look for Adobe Photoshop, for instance, and then search. I can actually see a basic trend outline for this topic from the last 24 hours, as well as a 7-day trend here, and then see where these conversations are happening. I can follow specific social media posts, get in on specific conversations. So this is really a great way to see what people are saying, to see what conversations people are having that are relevant to your keywords and your site specifically, and also gives you the opportunity to directly move traffic and change and shape conversations that people are having. So if you want to contribute to a conversation, show people that you have a really great site about that, or you see that people are talking about a particular product, you can direct them to your site so that they can click on your ads and get the information from your site, which means more income for you. Next, we'll move back to the dashboard once again, And you'll notice that most of these tabs that I'm going to, the social monitoring, the promotion, all of these things are over here on the left-hand side. I just keep going back to the dashboard because if you ever get lost, that's an easy way to just find your way once again quickly. So next we'll move to the Domain Manager. And here again, we can manage our Namecheap and Enom accounts. We can also add our own domains. And what this means is if you have an outside domain that wasn't purchased within SiteBildZ, you can bring that in here, specify the project that that domain is going to be a part of, enter in the domain, and choose a server, and then within your actual domain settings that you've purchased elsewhere, you enter in the name server settings that come up here and submit that, and that will allow you to add the domain into the SiteBildZ interface so you can manage everything within SiteBildZ and make things a whole lot easier on yourself. Again, the My Domain section shows the domains that you have, and you can see that domain that I just purchased in this project from Namecheap. The Domain Suggestion tab allows you to enter in a keyword, or if you've already got a keyword and you end up here for domain suggestions doing some of your research, you can get suggestions for specific domains here and purchase those domains from here as well. You can also register bulk domains, which is great if you just want to find a bunch of domains in Namecheap or Enom and then purchase those all at once to save yourself some time. And then you can also create an email for any particular domain that you have. So if I wanted to create a new one here, I could enter in my information. So here I've selected the site, and then I can create the email, which will just be my name at the site that I've purchased. I can generate a password, confirm that password, and then set the mailbox quota and submit. Then I can click this arrow in the actions and set up my email forwarding so that the email account I just created will be forwarded to an address. And that way I could create email addresses for each of my different domains and then have them all sent to one email address, so I'm not accessing a ton of different accounts and trying to chase down emails. They could all just go to one central address. And lastly, within the Domain Manager section, we have the Tiny URL tab. If you're familiar with Bitly, that's what this is. You can just enter in your site's full URL and click Submit, and then get this tiny URL that you can use to post on social media sites or anywhere else you please. So one of the great things about SiteBildZ is that you can not only create great looking websites, set them up with monetization, and change all your necessary settings, all from within the SiteBildZ Advantage interface, you can actually create content and get assistance in creating content for your site as well. We've got several different options for that. We have things like Article Z, Article Builder, SiteBildZ, iWriter, and some other options here to really customize the content that you create and when that content is pushed out. Now, Article Z, SiteBildZ, and iWriter are professional writing services where you enter in some keywords, some topics, and a bit of clarifying information, and professional writers create content for you. Now please note, with iWriter, you must purchase from them directly, but the others, Article Z and SiteBildZ, you can purchase and fund right from within SiteBildZ. So you just get together your keywords, the information that you want included, and send some prompt stuff along to those writers, and they'll create professional content for you at a very reasonable price. There's also Article Builder here, which allows you to create content in an automated fashion. You can pull from other content, you can create new and unique content from some existing content, and it's really a powerful feature to help get you noticed, to help build some traffic and create unique content for your site very quickly and very easily. So be sure to check that out as well. Once you've created content for your site, you'll want to head to the Post and Schedule section. And here you can enter in the content, your category, title, and description. You can format that created content at any time, and then you can submit it and just post it straight to your site, or schedule it for a specific time so that it can be posted to your site later. So if you wanted to create a month's worth of content in advance and then set that up to post every day or every couple days on a schedule, you could do that and set it and not have to worry about it once you've got all of that set up. You can also check your content and run it through Copyscape. Now, iWriter, I believe, already runs through Copyscape. I believe they check all their content against that, but you can use Copyscape to run Article Z, as well as SiteBildZ and Article Builder through that, just to make sure that you've got some really unique content there that will help draw traffic to your site. In the Videos tab, You can search for videos on YouTube, find some great looking videos, just enter in a search term, look for that, and then generate the embed code and post that straight to your site, all within SiteBildZ. You can go to Images, and here we've actually set up an account with a stock image provider. So if you want to search for an image, so I'll search for a camera image, for example, and then hit search. You've got some different options here where you can customize the type of image you'd like to search for, whether that's vector or no vector. You can sort your results here. You can search for particular colors, and then you can just find those images here from our stock photo provider, preview, and purchase those images to plug in on your site with absolutely no problem, no hassle, and never having to leave SiteBildZ. I hope you're getting the value of that right now. You can do all of these things from within the SiteBildZ Advantage interface, saving yourself time, saving yourself money, because we've got some great integrations here. Lastly, we can go to the image editor here if we'd like to edit an image. Now you can choose an image from your computer, you can choose something online, and you can put that in here. And we offer some really powerful features within the image editor. The great thing about this, as you take a minute and hopefully you'll play with that just a little bit down the road, the great thing about the image editor is that you don't have to be a photographer, you don't have to be a photo editor. You can do really powerful things like frame and blur and customize images to your heart's content very quickly and easily with some really powerful tools, even if you have absolutely no prior experience editing images. So you can create something totally custom just within this image editor. The policy generator is one other thing we want to point out quickly. And this allows you to create policies for your site for all sorts of purposes. You can create a privacy policy, an AdSense policy, really any policy that you need as an affiliate marketer to get set up and running, because you have to create some of those things at some point to host different ads or set up a legit site, and we'll create those things for you so you don't have to worry about that. Heading back to our main dashboard, I want to take just a minute to tell you about SiteBildZ. Now, SiteBildZ is similar to Flippa in that it's an interface where you can auction off websites. Say you've built a great site that's making money and you just don't have time to keep up with it anymore, or you want to sell it for a higher profit. Once that site's established, you can auction that off and someone else can buy that site from you once it's making money and once it's got traffic. You could even pitch an idea. You could just buy a certain domain, set up an idea site that's not even bringing in too much traffic. It could be something new. And if someone thinks it's a positive idea that has potential for growth, they could buy that from you within SiteBildZ. Now, the great thing is that any of our SiteBildZ paid members will pay absolutely no listing fees to use SiteBildZ ever. So if you're one of our paid members of SiteBildZ, you can list any website that you make within SiteBildZ on SiteBildZ with no listing fees. We've also got some great discounts in there too. We've also got some other great discounts in there too that apply to SiteBildZ, so be sure to check that out. We'll be launching that quickly. And lastly is the project manager. So I'll select the project that I want to look at, and then I'll proceed. Here I can see that I've got a theme applied for this particular domain that I've got. I can see my keyword performance, I can see the search volume, I can see the number of results, I can see competition, EPC, see the trends. I can check out my social reach, I can look at my domain details, back up my site, and even run Google Analytics, all from within SiteBildZ. So this is a really great way to get all of your site data in one quick place. Now, this is just a quick cursory overview of some of the many powerful features within SiteBildZ Advantage. But if you really want to check it out, you've got to do it and run through a demo yourself. It's very powerful, you're going to love it, and if you're already a SiteBildZ member, we'll get you set up for a webinar and give you the opportunity to upgrade as a paid member and get a first look at SiteBildZ Advantage and start using this platform before it's released to the public. So we appreciate you taking a little while to look at some of the things that we have to offer. And again, be sure to take some time and check it out for yourself. So thanks for watching.